Republican Scott Walker is in favor of a 20-week ban on abortion with no exception for rape or incest. Now, that may sound kind of bad on its face, but wait until you hear his explanation.
I mean, I think for most people who are concerned about that, it's in the initial months when they're the most concerned about it. In this case, again, it's an unborn life, it's an unborn child, and that's why we feel strongly about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the rape victims are concerned throughout.
Yeah, you don't think that they like forget a month or two later, how did I get pregnant again? I just can't recall.
Now look, this is the same guy who very recently said that ultrasounds, and after making them mandatory for women to get them before they get the procedure, he said, well, ultrasounds are pretty cool. And they're pretty cool if you're in a different context. I have a couple of kids, we got the ultrasounds. Yes, they were cool in that context. If you're forcing the woman to look at it when she's chosen to make a very difficult decision about having an abortion, perhaps because she was raped, she suffered incest, or for other reasons that are her personal choice and liberty and not our business, right? Making her look at that ultrasound is not what I would call pretty cool.
No. I also wouldn't call it compassionate at all. Yeah, we're a selfie culture, but I don't think that that's where you should take that analogy. And he seems to think it's the natural place for it. He's one of the worst people in the country on the issue of abortion. I mean, there's candidates who want to do 4-week bans, 7-week bans, or ban the entire thing. But in the range of what you can actually accomplish at the state level, he's one of the scariest guys because he says he's willing to sign this. They already did the ultrasound. Like, he is pushing back. He's pushing us back to the 60s, to the 50s on this, and he's enthusiastic about it. It's crazy. It's crazy to, like, what the fuck? Look, I'm not one of those people who think that men can never be involved in a bill that has to do with a woman's body or whatever, because I think that then you would have to accept that women can never be involved in a bill that has to do with men's bodies. And I think that at some point people need to legislate on things that affect people who are unlike them in various demographic ways, but perhaps show a little bit of freaking humility. Maybe sit down with some rape victims and ask, did you still have a problem with you being raped after the first 60 days had passed or something like that? Or even if you don't, like, he apparently doesn't think that women fucking matter at all, so fine. Sit down with some men who have been raped after a month, after 2 months. Does it still bother them that they were raped? I think that you'd find that it does.
Yeah, so, look, just be honest, which apparently they are genetically not capable of doing. Say, hey, you know what, I don't like abortion. I want to ban it under all circumstances. I want to ban it even if you're raped or you suffered incest, because I believe the unborn fetus is a life form and I want to keep it alive. To me, that matters more than anything else. Okay, that's an honest answer.
It's consistent.
Yeah, so that's why I'm chipping away at the Supreme Court law. I know it's the law of the land, but I don't like it, and I want to just chip away at it until it doesn't exist anymore.
It's cowardly.
Yeah, now, a lot of abortion opponents say that. They say that, look, I'm trying to get rid of it, right? And this is the way that we do it. But Walker doesn't want to say that, so he says that's why he says absurd things like, after 20 weeks, are you still concerned about the rape? I mean, basically what he's trying to say is you should have made up your mind already by then. And if you didn't, too bad for you.
Yeah. Yeah, and one final point I want to make, there's like, I guess this is sort of good news, bad news. They've actually done studies. So the objective is that we're going to make you look at the ultrasound, for instance, in that case, and that's going to, then they're going to feel attached to the kid, and so they're not going to get the abortion. They've done studies. It doesn't actually cause women to not have the kid. So I guess that's good news if you think that a woman who wants to have an abortion should have an abortion. But you're still making her go through it. The only end result, it's not the stated policy end result that you want, that abortions would go down. The only end result is that you have caused that woman to go through the anguish of having to see something that she doesn't want to see, and usually they tie it in with a waiting period where you have to go across the state twice. It's just to make it hurt. It's to punish women for choosing to exercise the rights that the Supreme Court has guaranteed them. It's cowardly, it's pathetic, and it's awful, and unfortunately it's a guy that apparently seems to be quite popular in his state, even though I can't imagine how.
And actually, in the entire Republican field, in most polls, he's leading. That's the guy right now ahead in the Republican polling. Unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure the women who had to go through the trauma that John described wouldn't describe it as pretty cool.